What a hell of a weekend, right before my birthday.
Trespassing!
Today I'm going to tell a story on failure and how I'm not mad about it. This past weekend, we attempted a long-distance bike ride. The plan was to go to Hilton Head, and the biking distance would be 115 miles, and we wanted to do it in 2 days. We were going to do 87 miles the first day and 41 miles the second day. Does that add up to 115? So yeah, we were going to go on a 128 miles of bike ride. Paul did most of the research since he's the most experienced out of the three of us. And he said part of this trail would be a little difficult because the shoulder of the road would be narrow and it would be on the US 17. Google said it would take us 7.5 hours to reach Beaufort the first day. We thought we can take it easy, we can pay attention to our bodies, and even if we need to take breaks in between, 11 hours should be enough. Paul did a lot of works on the bikes to prep them to be ready for this long distance bike riding. And we went to the grocery store, we got some camping food ready. The plan was formed. We woke up at 6 and it was still dark. We have some cooking, stove, makeup and toothbrush and everything, and some tuna and some snacks, and that's it.
Okay, Meg should be meeting us downstairs any minute.
Okay, let's go put this on.
Just think myself. Okay. Which one of us has never done this before? Me.
All of us!
Paul and Meg have been wanting to do this for a while. I just wanted to do things with my friends. Also, it would be cool to sneak in one more achievement right before my birthday.
Okay, you be the number 1. That's right. Do you want to be number 3?
We were loading everything onto the bikes and we were ready to go. And the spirit was really high. We biked through some beautiful neighborhood. We saw a horse, we saw a fish hanging on the tree. Meg found her hair clip that she lost the day before.
And how many miles are we from home now? Like 4?
4 miles from home. Like 87 miles to go.
What do you think she's thinking about?
That's a good haircut.
We got our first flat tire within the first hour.
Flat tire. Look at how flat it is.
All the way flat.
We were prepared for that. We had several spare tires. It was all under control back then. You kind of expect certain difficulties to happen, and then they did happen, and you're prepared for it, so you feel good.
Paul, you're a trooper, buddy. We couldn't survive without you.
Heyo!
After several back roads, it started to get tough.
Can't ride.
We had to cross some sand roads where the sand was so thick that you couldn't bike on it. You would have to walk and push the bikes. And it was hard because our bike were loaded with bags in the back. Miles of sand road we have to push. It felt like a Mario quest, even though I don't play video games.
It was hard. Like just went through some eating people flowers. Now we're gonna have fireballs. Okay?
Yeah, never ends.
And when we were riding on the highway, Although there was a shoulder, it was really narrow. So there were the rumble strips and there's the grass. So the distance we could bike on is really just this big. If you ever bike on the rumble strip, your bike will start shaking and you have heavy bags in your bike. And it's really easy to tilt to the left and be hit by a car. That was very risky. I was freaked out a couple times. Yeah, there's no enjoyment of the riding at all. I have to be hyper focused on keeping my bike between the rumble strip and the grass. It was a highly stressful mentally practice. We didn't even get a lot of footage because we were hyper focused on not getting killed. The road condition was tough and we were literally risking our lives getting the footage. Not we, just Paul. Show your appreciation by hit the like button. And there were a fair amount of parts that it was just the car lane and the grass. So we had no choice but being on the grass. A lot of that part we were walking. So in the end, we walked a lot of the trip. It slowed us down by a significant amount. Because out of the hundreds of cars that passed us during the several hours, if any one of them happened to be looking at their phone and didn't see you, you're screwed. This is an interesting thing too, that some people are nice to the bikers and some people absolutely hated us. That's something interesting that happened. Some people, you can tell when they see you, they want to not, what's that, scoop you, stoop you, snoop you, what's that word? Spook you. They don't want to spook you and they slow down, they give you really big space. And some people, they don't give a shit. They just zoom past you. And some people are even worse. They absolutely hate you. They will yell at you. They say, "Get off the road!" Yeah, and sometimes they speed up the engine to make their car really loud to scare you as well. Or beep at you, or they yell out something stupid. Get off the road! I was thinking, this is an interesting experience to witness people's difference as well. Speaking of how different people could be, I was just talking about that in my Tinder video last week. You can really feel it, even when you don't talk to them at all. They were just driving by. Although I try not to be offended, it's more proof to my theory of how you are just a mirror to them. How they treat you is really a reflection of themselves. And then after several miles of pushing your bike on the grass or on the sand, we reached a gas station.
What is this place? Round O.
Round O.
No idea what that is.
At that point, we had been on the road for 7 hours already. But when we checked where we were, we only biked 38.5 miles, which is not even half of the distance. That's when I realized we have to give up.
We've been in this.
Because we were already exhausted after 7 hours. We couldn't fathom biking another of that distance.
4 hours and 34 minutes at an average pace of 8.5 miles an hour.
That's when we realized we have to consider alternative options. Part of it was safety, because you can't bike in the dark. You can't risk biking on a very narrow shoulder on the highway.
At one point, when we were walking in the grass and you were up front, I saw a truck go by you, and I was like, you could easily reach your hand out and touch that truck. Like, it was so close.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the fire ant hills.
In Chinese, it's called, if you walk along the river long enough, your shoes will get wet. So it's important to give up when you realize you have to give up. Once I realized from an objective standpoint, there's no way to reach my destination, I accepted it immediately. I was like, okay, now let's figure out how to get home. I usually don't have that braking distance of changing direction when it comes to this.
Failed together, gang.
I also haven't failed in a long time.
Really? I feel like I failed yesterday. That's something.
You still have
You
time.
still broke your best, though.
I know, I broke my best.
when I was pushing my bike in the sand, in the grass, I actually wasn't thinking about, God, I hate this. I actually had zero of those emotions. Because when I was on the task, I focused all my attention to solving the problem. Which Paul later told me it's really inspiring for him because he was feeling crushed. But luckily, our best friend, Tommy, came to the rescue.
Oh my god. Look at this.
I'm really sorry. I smell really bad.
I bet you do.
Tommy with a van. He has a van, and Tommy came to the rescue. He decided that he's gonna save his friends.
Dang, you still got energy? I'm surprised there's still three of you. I would have thought one of you would have killed the other two, or...
Does it still become a YouTube video?
Okay. Stinky, stinky boy. Am I stinky too? Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys are all stinky.
I am not.
Probably not. I'm shutting you in.
If you fail at something and you don't learn anything from it, then you failed for nothing. It's important to have a plan B. We set our goal really high, and we didn't have a plan B on if we don't reach there, what can we do camping-wise. We should have looked at some other people's experience. Experienced bikers have biked through the East Coast Greenway, and they claimed that the South Carolina part is actually the worst part. In Chinese, there's a saying that if you want to succeed in something, you need to sharpen your tools. Our bikes are all in good condition, but none of them was actually meant for a long distance bike ride. Mine was a city commute. Both Paul and Meg's bikes are from the 80s. We didn't do enough of research. We actually needed to look into every mile of the road condition, because even 1 or 2 or 3 miles of not bikeable road, we would not be able to reach there. And there's the private property part. None of those we knew anything about before we took on the bike ride. Even though this was a failure, I still gained a lot from this trip. My old record of long distance biking was 30 miles, but now I broke my personal record.
For now it's fine. Waste of our time.
I still created memory with Paul and Meg and Tommy. This would be a story that we later in life think back on and we were like, huh, you remember that time? Bunch of idiots decided to go on a bike ride and failed. In the long run, it's all stories.
Oh, wow. Feels like we just left 12 hours ago.
Damn.
We actually learn more from failures. There's a Chinese saying called, failure is the mother of success. We learned that when we were in elementary school, but we tend to forget that. We should have the scientist's mindset. This is just the first try. It's part of the process.
You guys ever ride bikes again? 10 out of 10. What do we think of bikes? Would not recommend.
Tommy had a gig that night, but he still came pick us up in the afternoon, and he didn't complain at all.
How's everybody feeling? Beautiful day.
Tommy is a good friend. To conclude this story, as Tommy once said, life is an attempt. So kids, it's cool to give up sometimes. Just keep your vibes up. Okay, bye-bye.
Who's our favorite law to break? Trespassing.
Mine is definitely drugs.